Hello everyone. I know. It's not Wednesday and it's not Sunday. But guess what? My nephew, Alex, gave me a comic. He's like, hey, can you review this for me? So what am I going to do? Say no? I'm going to say yes. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say yes. So this is a special edition viewer request. So let's get into the comic. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. We'll get right into it. Can you tell what the comic is? Hold on a second. How about now? Well, if you can't, you can almost see the hologram. Wolverine 100 anniversary. This is the first run of Wolverine. I'm pretty sure. It's volume 1. So this is the 100th issue. And let's review this bad boy. So it starts out... almost getting ahead of myself here. I gotta put my glasses on. I can't see. Alright, so this thing was written by Larry Hama. Larry Hama. Woo! He's done Avengers, G.I. Joe, Bucky O'Hare, pretty much anything you want to list out there he's done. He's over 1,200 issues. And Adam Kubert. Everybody knows Adam Kubert. He's done X-Men, Hulk, Green Lantern, you name it. He's done them too. Over 800 issues. So, where do we start? We start with Wolverine trapped upside down in a tank. So, he's upside down in a tank, kind of like in Weapon X when he's first getting his adamantium put inside of him. And guess what's happening here? It's getting adamantium put inside of him. So I guess he's lost it. And who's doing it to him? Genesis. Genesis and Life Force. So here you can see Genesis, and he's a hunky dude. And him and Life Force are just sitting there. They have one tank with the adamantium, and another tank with Wolverine, and it's being forced inside of him because he's the only one that can withstand that. So then we move along, and they're just showing some of the how the machinery is working and stuff. But check this out. This is pretty interesting. I think this comic was back in the 90s, I think, early 90s, maybe late 80s. But they actually have arrows to show you which way to read the panels to help out new readers. And I mentioned earlier that I would kind of show a little bit of how to read panels. Well, here you go. This is not a very hard one, but it definitely helps you. So, like I said, here's the two tubes. They're putting the adamantium in. From the one, that skeleton is somehow going into his pores and going to fuse with his skeleton. But they're saying, that as fast as the adamantium can go in there and destroy Wolverine, he's regenerating. So while all this is happening, up in the rafters, up above all these people, you see Cannonball and Expediter, and they're chatting to themselves like, we gotta help. Okay, I guess Cannonball was in there first, and Expediter just kind of teleported in to help out. So Cannonball is like, we gotta help Wolverine, and she's like, no, we have to hold off on that for a little bit. So they're not going to go down. And then it pans over to this. They also see all these sarcophaguses somewhere else down below where they're looking, and inside of there is who is it? Apocalypse, not Donkey Lips. Apocalypse. Everybody knows Apocalypse. He's the bad guy. with the four horsemen. You know, he's just a bad dude. So it's his sarcophagus is there, and the deal is they're trying to get all these other people's life forces from these other sarcophagus and push it into Apocalypse to bring him back to life. So here we see, you know, they're not gonna help him out because Expediter knows something that Cannonball doesn't know. So she said that she's gone through time and seen, you know, several different outcomes, and you know, this is the way it's supposed to go. Cannonball's like, what are you talking about? And then all of a sudden, Genesis is like, you know, this is going too slow. We need to really pump some amps into this dude. So he kicks up the spices it up a bit, and Life Force kicks it in the times 2. So boom, and he starts to overload Wolverine. They're pumping it in more than he can take. So it starts just coming out of his pores. The adamantium just starts seeping out of his pores. And all of this while Cannonball's up at the top, and he's grabbing Expediter like, we gotta help him. And she's like, no, you need to help him when at certain point, and that's when the adamantite starts to fuse with his body. Then you help, and then she just vanishes. I guess that's her power. I don't know anything about Expediter, but I guess she's like Cable or something and can just go through time. So guess what starts happening? Boom! It starts sticking. The adamantite is bonding, but it's not quick enough still. So he pumps up the volume again, and it starts really overworking him. And since Cannonball's seen, okay, this is starting to fuse. What are we gonna? I'm gonna go help. So boom, there he goes, going through everybody, slam, 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 and starts destroying the machinery, and you know, all the while Wolverine is just overloading and overloading and overloading, and there's too many bad guys. They just start beating the crap out of Cannonball, and he's like, oh, I gave it my best shot, Wolverine. And then there's so much adamantium inside of Wolverine now that he just starts rejecting, and they put these brain things in him to try to control him. That was their idea the whole time, that they were gonna, you know, recreate Wolverine and then be able to control him as the ultimate weapon. Does that ever work? It doesn't ever work. So it seems like Magneto did this to him. Magneto pulled all the adamantium out of Wolverine in a previous issue. I don't know how it was done. You can go find it if you want to. Sounds like it's pretty cool. I think it's been done before. Maybe not. So anyways, here's Wolverine just crying out in agony with all this adamantium coming out of him. And what happens? Just fills up and fills up and fills up and fills up. And he just explodes. But my panel pick was going to be this, but I didn't feel like it was an actual panel pick because it was a 2-page spread, and I didn't want to show, you know, that much stuff. So it's a really cool picture. They lay out everything really cool. You know, the skeleton going inside of him, and then, you know, Wolverine just exploding, and then there's a huge another 2-page spread of him exploding, and Hurricane, the bad guy, is fighting Cannonball, and then all of a sudden he just drops dead because all these adamantium spikes that came out of Wolverine kill him and just destroy everything. So you know, Wolverine's down on the ground, and he's getting hurt, and in flies Cannonball. And before we get to that, little piece of trivia for you that I noticed while I was reading this. It's hard to do this with claws. Oh, it needs 1 page. Boom. you see those little black bars on the top? Those little black bars, like, what are they for? Well, for the first 50 years of comics, retailers or comic distributors used to let retailers send their old stock back. So those bars would be different colors for every month, and in 2 or 3 months, the retailer would, or the distributor would say, "Hey guys, send back your reds, send back your greens, and we'll give you a refund." So this was an easy way for the retailers to know which comics they were going to send back. So, interesting tidbit. Let's get on with Cannonball. So he flies Wolverine out of that area, and meanwhile, Genesis is like, you know, we gotta do something. Everything's getting destroyed and blah blah blah. And he's telling Life Force to do all this stuff, and she's not answering. He's like, "Are you deaf?" So he goes and he pulls her up by the shoulders, and you see here a couple things right through her face. She's gone, and he's just like, okay. So then it pans over to a whole different area, halfway around the world, to this mountain house. And what do you see? You see a guy in front of and a girl in front of a fire, and he's asking her, "Do you sense anything?" And she's like, "Nothing." So he takes his stick, whap, right in the back of the head, smacks her. That's all they show of that. It's over. Nothing more. So Cannonball, where they end up with Wolverine, is by in the sarcophagus room. And Genesis has sent all of his little flunkies out to bad guys to go, recover Wolverine. And so here you see one coming down after Cannonball, and then you see this tentacle come down trying to take Cannonball, and Wolverine just grabs it. And then in the next panel you see this, well, not this one, but you see, I think this guy's name is Deadbolt. You see Deadbolt, and he's hearing stuff, and he's like, whew. He's like, what is that? And he sees a tentacle come down, and he's like, oh, okay, it's just you. I think the guy's name is Spine or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember what it was. And so he's like, okay, yeah, I feel better now that I see you. But no, the coil wraps around him and starts electrocuting him. And then you see my panel pick. Wolverine actually has the tentacle wrapped around his arm, and he kills Deadbolt with it by using it and pulling him up on top of a sarcophagus. Look how cool that looks, man. So good. And then this is kind of like Next of Kin. You ever seen Next of Kin with Patrick Swayze? That sweet ass movie, Next of Kin. Yeah, the one with the bus full of snakes. Yeah, that one. Anyways, you know how he's in the graveyard and he's doing all this stuff to trick all the people? It's like one man against a million, and all he's got is bow and arrow and snakes. Well, Wolverine kind of does the same thing. He takes Deadbolt's head and fools this other dude into thinking that that is just Deadbolt by taking his head and peering it around the pillar. And he's just like, okay, cool. It's just Deadbolt. But that doesn't happen. He thinks it's Deadbolt, but it's not. As soon as he turns his back, Wolverine gets him. And while Wolverine's taking all these other guys out, here comes Genesis back down, picks up Cannonball. I don't know what he's going to do with him, but he's walking him over to Apocalypse, and I guess he's going to try to present, I don't know, get something started here so that they can revive Apocalypse. And on the way over, boom, here comes Wolverine. Gonna destroy him. Ah! Jumps on him. And while that's all happening, so those two are fighting. Cannonball gets up and he wants to ruin this whole thing because he doesn't want Apocalypse to come back. So he's gonna open the thing and destroy Apocalypse's hopes of coming back. And here you see just Wolverine beating the crap out of Genesis. Check out those claws. Mine are better claws than those. But that adamantium hasn't had time to set up yet. He's just a freaking beast right now. Just going nuts. Has no idea what's going on. And Cannonball finally gets the sarcophagus open, and guess what's in there? Absolutely nothing. Nothing's in there. So what's happened? Was Apocalypse ever in there? Or was there so much energy in the overloads and stuff that he's already resurrected and escaped? So he looks back. He's like, Logan. Well, before this, Logan's like, tell Cable I'm sorry about his kid. So I don't know if Wolverine has done something to Cable's kid, or obviously, but I don't know what he's done to him. So in a different issue, that's happened. So by the time he turns back around, he's like, you should tell him yourself. And Wolverine's gone, and he says more ways than one. So he's lost his mind, and he's lost he's gone. He hasn't lost anything really besides his mind. Boom, we go over, and now it describes who the two people were. The one getting hit with a stick, and the other one the one that was doing the hitting with the stick. His name, Stick. Her name, Elektra. That's right, from Daredevil. Stick trained Daredevil, and Elektra was Daredevil's fling. Fling. Interesting tidbit here. Did you know that the Ninja Turtles were kind of mimicked after Daredevil? See, Stick is Daredevil's trainer. Splinter is the Turtles' trainer. The Hand is the bad guys in Daredevil. The Foot Clan is the bad guys in Ninja Turtles. Yep. Believe it. One more thing I'll leave you with here before I go. I know it's a long one, but this is a long anniversary issue. A lot of stuff happened. Did you ever realize that Wolverine's face was just two Batmans kissing? Check it out. I give this comic 6 out of 6. I think it's awesome. Thanks so much, Alex. I appreciate it. And everybody be good to yourselves. We'll see you at our regular time on Sunday. Enjoy, guys.